Hi, it's Gloomy Fish, and I'm back with the sketchbook tour. This is my longest running sketchbook, and I'm not really sure why, but yeah, this one lasted me months and months and months. Also, you notice something different. No shaky cam, because I got myself a phone holder. Hey, so, something before we get into the sketchbook tour, I should probably say that this sketchbook does actually have a lot of body horror and gore, so I'm just gonna give this warning now. Let you use your own discretion. So yeah, there's nothing really significant in this pocket, not really, except for this thing I drew on MS Paint when I was... can't remember how old I was, but I was younger than 10, I know that for sure. Some OCs, Canet and Comet. Comet was kind of new at the time, and I was worried that Canet and Comet looked quite similar, so I drew them together. Melly and Ingo comic, because I shipped them. Saki Sanobashi. I'm like weirdly fascinated by Saki Sanobashi. I don't know why, because if it's like a real anime, then it's just a depressing gore fest. There's something about the whole mystery of it that intrigues me, but it's likely that the anime isn't actually real. Comet again, she shows up a lot in this sketchbook. Volo, pose practices. Caralis from Pokemon Sword and Shield. I think she's quite an underrated character. A human Petri from Animal Crossing. Girl surrounded by moths, or moth girl surrounded by moths. Moth girl with a ball of light and a bunch of moths surrounding the ball of light. I don't know. Yeah, basically it was like summer and I had my lamp on and there were moths flying all around it, and it just made me want to draw this. The light is kind of shining off it weird, but if I do this, you'd probably be able to see it better. Argos and Mr. Plant. Honestly, these two are relationship goals, and I love them. One of my custom dolls, Thea. I don't know, I felt like drawing her. And then this, I was making a different custom doll at this point, and I was trying to figure out what her face should look like. And this is not one of my custom dolls, this is just a Monster High Jane Boolittle. But I made this dress that she's wearing. There's this scene in the series Lily Madwhip where Lily sort of dies, and she ends up in this place called the Vale, and the Angel of Death is there, and he's like exposition dumping on her, but there was something he couldn't show her because it would break her brain or something. So he resorts to doing a puppet show instead, and he does all the voices and he seems kind of embarrassed about it. KK Slider singing Toxic Gossip Train, because that was pretty relevant at the time. I still find myself singing Toxic Gossip Train, and I'm very annoyed. This is a doll whose face I was trying to figure out earlier on. Her name is Claudia, and she was supposed to be like a kind of dreamcore theme. Shiny Mew. Yeah, there's nothing of significance here. Some human Enna stuff. This thing, I don't know. I don't know what this is. Okay. So there's a Vocaloid producer called Daijobu P, and his stuff is weird and noisy and kind of graphic at times, and also kind of funny, because he doesn't really take himself seriously. I had just been introduced to Daijobu P, and I couldn't stop watching his videos and listening to his songs, and there's one called What Can We Do, which is kind of hellish. But this is inspired by the video for What Can We Do, and this is inspired by another video of his called It's Okay. Another one of my custom dolls, Sunset, I kind of designed her with a vaporwave theme in mind. If you saw my video where I read out that fanfic I wrote when I was like 13, I actually was drawing her in the background of that video. There's Comet. I actually made a doll of her too, and this is kind of my drawing of like her doll version. And her hat is like a pod of like coffee for a coffee machine. It was like perfectly hat shaped, and it fit a Monster High doll head perfectly. So I used that for her hat, and yeah, it actually works quite well. Olympia and Sigilif. This was when they finally added Olympia to Pokemon Masters, which I was really happy about. All of this is inspired by Shintaro Kago, because I like body horror, especially surreal body horror. This is, well, this, and this are all the main character of this story that I'm very, very slowly writing. These were some late night drawings. I like this thing. Oh god, this page. So there's Lane. Petra from this really old anime, Flint the Time Detective. I used to watch it when I was a kid. And I decided for like a nostalgia trip, so I watched some of it and then I got bored with it. This was a dream I had about some weird backrooms monsters. This was when I got back into Hypnospace Outlaw. I got so inspired I wanted to draw a bunch of the characters. That's Cold Snap, the guy on the cool punk zone who just kinda is mean to everyone. Tamara, the one who has a bunch of weird poems. Gumshoe Gooper. April the Hamster, Pizza Dance, Timageddon, Dark Twilight Tiff, and I think that thing's called Muletta. Oh, and there's the all-seeing eye in the background. Lily Simpson, YouTuber, NOC, Madotsuki from Yume Nikki, a leaf that I liked. More Hypnospace Outlaw stuff, but it's based on one of my favourite characters, Reckoning, who doesn't have a design. So I just kinda made one up for them. But yeah, Reckoning is such a great character, and they're kind of a bit of a walking spoiler, so I can't really say that much about them, but they're cool. The storyboard for that Cranberry Kitty video I did. Lapis Lazuli, Mushy, that little, what is it called? Squisher from Hypnospace Outlaw. It's the Hypnospace Outlaw universe's version of Pokemon, basically. Squishers. One of my OCs. More Hypnospace Outlaw stuff. If you have Professor Helper and the All-Seeing Eye, if you open the All-Seeing Eye and put it next to Professor Helper, he will say, "Get that thing away from me," which I think is funny. Weird page, my cat. A page I don't like. A page I do like. Some weird drawings, Care from Petscop. Comet again and again, and some of my other OCs in the background, and it's just, you know, steampunk stuff, because I like steampunk. Some other pages I don't really like. I like eyes, if you haven't noticed. Nothing really of note here. Leg. Oh, this was something, I redrew this from something I drew back in 2016. Oh, some like ethnic face practices. I made her look a little bit too much like a Disney princess, but it's fine. Because I was trying to draw them in my style, and it was kind of hard to get the balance right between making them look like the faces, the references, and making them in my style. Another page I don't really care about. Oh, more pages I don't care about. Draculaura, from like the latest version of Monster High. I have this Draculaura doll, and she's so cute. Floop from Spy Kids. Oh my god, I kind of rekindled my love for Spy Kids a few months ago. This was when the Teal Mask DLC came out for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Another page I don't really like. Draculaura again, the original Barbie, Shiny Ninetales. This was a print of a mushroom that I turned into a frog, I guess. This is a Barbie. When I was like 16, I decided that there's no point in keeping all my dolls if I wasn't going to play with them anymore, which I since regret now. I kept a few of them, but there are a few that I regret giving away. And this one was one of them. Jam and Glam Barbie, that's what she's called. Jam and Glam Barbie. And I managed to find one on eBay for quite a cheap price in really good condition. So I got her back. She was basically my childhood favourite Barbie, and I still love her. Her hair turns around. Her hair turns around and her waist is bendy. That one super deep line from Spy Kids 2. Elise, you know, the YouTuber. A train wreck shipping comic based on a Tumblr post. This is the start of Inktober. So this was day 1, Dream, and I drew Yumeniki. Day 2, Spiders. I decided to draw Emmett as a sort of Galvantula hybrid, and I added a Joltik there because why not? Day 3, Path. I decided to take inspiration from Shintaro Kago again. Day 4, Dodge. I don't know. Something cartoony, I guess. Day 5, Map. This is something to do with the story I'm very, very slowly writing. Day 6, Golden. I don't know, I don't like this one. Day 7, Drip. Lot of blood. Day 8, Toad. I decided to draw one of the Legends Arceus protagonists, but like infected by Paris. Because if you played Legends Arceus, you know how freaking scary Paris are. Day 9, Bounce. I couldn't really think of anything, so I drew Isla bouncing an eyeball. This is a cat that keeps coming into our house and really annoying my cat. Day 10, Fortune. It's the Misfortunes from Legends Arceus. This is a poem that I wrote about how horrifying it is to have a body. You can pause it if you want to read it. And here's the rest of it. Again, pause it if you want to read it. This is a drawing to go with it. And it might be one of the most disgusting things I've ever drawn. Yeah, day 11, Wonder. Claudia daydreaming. Day 12, Spicy. So there's this person I follow on Twitter. I think he's also on Tumblr. He has like a Pokemon AU. Ingo and Emmett replaced like their brothers with a Zoroark just to help them cope. And Ingo has a Alpha Hisuian Zoroark called Spice, and Emmett's one is a Unovan Zoroark called Sugar. And Spice is like a feral little git, and I love him. It was day 13, Rise. This is milk outside a bag of milk outside a bag of milk. The sequel to milk inside a bag of milk inside a bag of milk. Yeah. And this day 14 castle, it's Floop's castle from Spy Kids, because I'm obsessed. Well, I was obsessed at the time. Day 15, Dagger, Yuri from DDLC. So day 16 and 17 I decided to put together because they were Angel and Demon, and I knew I wanted to put them together right from the very start, but I wasn't sure what to do. So this is kind of Omori spoilers a little bit, but anyway, we've got Mari as the Angel and Something as the Demon. If you've played Omori, it makes sense. Over the garden wall. This was me trying to get myself out of an art block. Tamari from Qualia Automata. Day 18, Saddle, Vola riding Giratina. Day 19, Plump. Some OCs making puns. Day 20, Frost. This is fan art of the song Death Body by Ghost. It's supposed to be Frostbite, by the way, if you're wondering about the connection. So in my previous sketchbook tour, you might remember I mentioned going to this place called Wake the Tiger. I went there again. So there are like cast members and they're known as Meridians because it's supposed to be set in a world called Meridia, and one of them was this guy called Rusty. Like, we all had to remember this certain passcode at one point, and he kept asking Mum if she remembered hers. To the point where he started to jump scare us a little bit. Yeah, it was funny. Day 21, Chains. This is Katia from Parties for Losers. Day 22, Scratchy. This is one of my OCs, Nara. Another poem is about my phobia. This side too. Day 23, Celestial. Masada from Yumeniki. Day 24, Shallow. It's Saki Sanobashi again, but this time specifically, who are they called? Red Cube Media, I think. They did a little animated short inspired by Saki Sanobashi, and this drawing is based on that. Day 25, Dangerous, little 80s anime girl. Day 26, Remove. I had to shoehorn Enna into it in some shape or form. One of my OCs, but in like an 80s anime style. All of my OCs, because why the hell not? Day 27, Beast, and it's the Beast from Over the Garden Wall. Day 28, Sparkle, Lacey's Games. Pomni from The Amazing Digital Circus, and in a sort of weird ship with Enna. The ship name is apparently Forget Your Past, which is kind of perfect. Both Pomni and the sad side of Enna, they're both voiced by Lizzie Freeman. Day 29, Massive. There's a little person here for scale. Very big building inspired by brutalist architecture. Day, whatever this is, day 30, Rush. This is Deadline by Joel G. Same guy who made Enna. Bunch of stickers. I guess a kind of vent about like information overload. Day 31, Fire. It's that old creepy YouTube video, dining room or there is nothing. So yeah, this year I kind of breezed through Inktober, which is quite surprising because there's usually at least one moment where I start to feel a bit burnt out, but it didn't happen this time, so woo! This was a dream I had on Halloween, actually, about this guy called Zephyr who was like the god of the wind. Argos from the world of Mr. Plant. A little extra Halloween thing. This is a little redesign of Comet. Oh, and I finally gave her a last name. Featherquill. So yeah, this is what she looks like now. Mariam from Qualia Automata. Just a bunch of drawings, including the Highwayman from Over the Garden Wall. I don't know. I love that guy. A 3 marker challenge because it's been a while since I last did one. My cat. It's Milk-chan again. Some weird drawings, some doodles. I was very tired and was listening to Inktober, and all of this stuff kind of came out of it. This one is a redraw of something I did in 2019, and I decided to redraw it. A birthday card from my cat. Totally, obviously, my cat. It couldn't have been anyone else pretending to be him, it was definitely him. My 2 blue screen characters reacting to You Are an Idiot. If you don't know what You Are an Idiot is, it was like a computer virus from like years ago. And it would just open a bunch of windows and just play this really annoying song on repeat. It's kind of funny. And a bunch of Dreamcore doodles. A very colourful Hatsune Miku. At this point, I had watched like a lot of art TikToks, and I was like really inspired by them, like especially sketchbook TikToks, and they were kind of, there was one sketchbook that was like really messy and like maximalist, and I'm like, oh my god, yes, this person gets it. And then I went like really maximalist on this thing for a while. Oh, and I got this idea from TikTok as well. Look at that. I absolutely love this. I love this so much. Sometimes, if I have my sketchbook open to this page, I find myself absent-mindedly playing around with this. So yeah, oh yeah, there's the torch. Some more crazy maximalist stuff to the brim, messy pages. I rediscovered a lot of stickers I forgot I had. Because I was watching a lot of like Dreamcore stuff as well, as usual, I'd Rather Sleep going through my head, and I was cutting up magazines as well at the time, so I did a thing with it, basically. If a character has a detachable leg, like Rez, would hitting someone on the head with a detachable leg be considered a kick? These are like real questions. A page full of eyes and a weird mouth person. Isla with a kind of realistic looking eye. This was inspired by Inktober, and maybe Baphomet-kun as well. That's supposed to be Saki Sanobashi, but it doesn't really look... I'd say it doesn't look like her, but she doesn't really have a design, does she? The image that everyone associates with her is from a completely different anime. A Dreamcore spread, inspired by a bunch of stickers that I got with like mushrooms and stuff on it. Drawing of some OCs, just like Jinning, frying up a TV remote as you do. Some OCs. Miaskarada beating the actual crap out of Hisui and Samurott. Regitube, when that was a thing. This was when Power of Potluck came out, and I just drew a bunch of stuff to do with it. More Power of Potluck stuff, but I ran out of things to draw, so we got 2 completely irrelevant things here. Just a bunch of stuff. This is another one of my custom dolls, Petrichor. And I was in another art block at this point. And I drew this to try and get myself out of said art block. Oh, this was interesting. This was like... I don't know what the technique is called, but I was making like paper out of this weird sort of like pulpy stuff and ink. And it was really cool. It was really fun. One of my OCs. One topic at a time. More eyes. A comic I did based on Power of Potluck. I did a digital version as well. The digital version is better. Oh god, this page, I don't know what I was doing with this page. The 13th and 11th Doctors, because why the hell not? This was unintentionally similar to that one Inktober drawing I did, but I had actually completely forgotten about that drawing when I did this. So this is some stuff based on the Doctor Who episode The Giggle. I love the toy maker, he's awesome. A weird thought that pops into my head sometimes. Oh god, this has a really weird story behind it. It was late at night and I had to go and get some bread, and I didn't have a bag. I didn't need one because I was just carrying bread, and I was walking down the street with some bread and I was just, aside from all of the other paranoid thoughts I always have walking home at night, the weirdest thought popped into my... I was also like worried that people would be wondering why I'm carrying bread like a weirdo, because I don't know, I don't know, probably anxiety making me think that. But then they all got mixed up, and then I imagined like creepy guys jumping out of a car, crowding me and going, "Why are you carrying bread?" I don't know. And I was gonna draw that, but it turned into my OC Obera being forced to carry my OC Brenda, because I thought that would be funnier. I don't know. This is just a parody of what Ghost's really old drawings used to look like. Blue and orange page. This was when I got my Mooney plush. This was a redraw of something I did in 2016, again. Rhyme from Pokemon. I hate this drawing. I was in an art block at the time and I hadn't drawn for a while because I had just got my Switch back from being mended because the fan broke and I needed to get a replacement. And I had just recently got it back and I was able to play the new Pokemon update, and that was all I was playing for like a couple of weeks. And I just didn't draw anything in that time, which is quite rare for me. And it took me a while to kind of get back into the swing of it. Brassius. I love him. This is a headbutt. This weird kind of unicorn centaur character who showed up in a dream. It was a really stressful dream that I hated, but she was probably the only good thing about the dream. And she had like this Russian accent. K-Angel or K-Angel, however you want to pronounce it, from Needy Streamer Overload. I started playing Needy Streamer Overload and became obsessed with it. K-Angel again. Ame from Needy Streamer Overload. I mean, they're the same character, if you didn't know. Miku, hiding in your Wi-Fi. Draculaura again, because I love her. More Needy Streamer Overload. And I did most of this in pencil. And I haven't used pencil for like years. I forgot how nice it was. Oh, I've got some Mr. Plant again, and a cute dog. A page dedicated to Brassius because I love him, and I'm very normal about him. And this was also done in pencil, and it's very shiny. And this is Hello Charlotte fan art. I love these pages. A comic based on like this post. It was like, I think it was like a Tinder message that I think ended up on Reddit or something. And this was just the result of me wanting to finish my sketchbook, so I just did a bunch of very crazy doodles. And this was something I drew in 2020, which I dug out at one point when I was doing the messy Miku pages. And I had completely forgotten about it, so I decided to stick it in my sketchbook. It's a little bit too big, but whatever. So, yeah, that is my sketchbook tour with no shaky cam, and I still don't know how to end videos.